And welcome back to the Washington Athletic Club. My name is Dave Vincent for the WPH Simple Green Race for 8 fifth place final between the blonde bombshell Alan Garner from San Antonio, Texas, and the gentleman Dave Fink from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. These two have created a rivalry where Dave Fink has defeated Alan Garner a couple times in the past, to include the Canadian Nationals, where he came back from a 9-0 deficit in a tiebreaker and defeated Alan Garner. He also played him tough right on this court in 2008. And Alan Garner, of course, not wanting to give anything away to Dave Fink, is trying to get that fifth place prize money. Alan Garner stepping in here. Wife Erica back at home. Mom Jim. Brother Alex. Mom Allison. All watching in San Antonio, Texas. Dave Fink's wife, who is expecting their first child May 28th. Tricia is back at home watching.
First
Referee is
to David Fink. This is the fifth
Chip
place
Morales.
match. 0 serving 0.
Score here is 0-0. You heard the score. And now we're into play. It's 1 game to 25. There is no tiebreaker. You have to win by 2. There's a halftime at the 15th point, which is a TV timeout. And Alan Garner scores the first point. I think this is the best serve in handball right here. It looks very simple and easy, but what it does is it sets up Alan Garner for this big back wall kill opportunity, and he took it. Doesn't get it. If you have a good back wall kill shot, you might want to convert to that serve, because you most of the time get free setups. In the booth with me is 6-time national champion Fred Lewis, who, Fred, I want to ask you a couple questions here about serving. You see Alan Garner throws that ball in, that underhand throw in that he has, but when you were on the Pro Tour, what was your serve, your go-to serve of choice?
1 serving 0.
Power left, power right. Go for the crack. Try to reverse the ball down the left to make it straighten it out. Hit a natural down the right to make it straightened out.
But you were steady Freddy. I kind of assumed you were more of the Dave Chapman lob serve or more methodical serves. All power.
Yeah, all power. I don't think I ever hit a lob serve in my life. My second serve was a 3-wall serve. A hard 3-wall. Against certain players, other players I do like a hard 2-wall serve, try to pinch him into the center of the court.
And Dave Fink gets this side out here.
0 serving 1.
Great camera angle right there, Fred. What do you think about the visual aspect of this facility and what the WPH is providing for the fans back at home?
One of the best ever in terms of clarity.
1 serving 1.
We've got so many different camera angles at this tournament. There's not a bad camera position in the court. You know, the only comment that I would make would be if we had a camera angle where you could see the entire court, and I don't know if that's possible or feasible.
Short.
But it seems like when you show the back shot, the ball gets
Second
lost
serve.
in the corner sometimes, especially off the serve, and you can't see what's happening.
Well, you can see the whole court from this angle.
Yes.
You just can't see what Dave Fink just did. You can't see what he did right there when he dipped it in. But I'll tell you, we have so many cameras on this court here that the one where the back wall is looking toward the front wall,
Short.
where Omar Lemus actually zooms in on the server, sometimes I sit back and say,
Second serve.
what camera is, where are we at right now?
Well, I like that camera angle.
Oh, I absolutely love it, because he zooms in and you can see the Washington Athletic Club lettering in the background. Right here, this is the angle. I go, where is he serving? Because the camera's in high def, so it brings everything out so vividly. It looks like he's standing right on the front wall there.
Yeah, I mean, this camera angle right here from the front wall, I think you really get a flavor for what the game is all about.
This is where you kind of lose what goes on in the front wall. If Allen kills it, then you don't get to see it, and Chip Morales is being worked over right now from Dave Fink. I asked Alan Garner previously if he ever gets distracted from the antics. He said, no, man, he keeps me loose because most of what he says is funny. I wonder what Dave Fink would do if he knew that the players actually felt more relaxed. And if you're relaxed in the handball court, it's actually bad for your opponent.
Well, you know, when certain people could get away with it because they knew what they were doing. They were doing it on purpose, and it wasn't an emotional thing for them. In other words, they'd be baiting the referee. They knew exactly what they were doing.
1 serving 3.
Well, I think in this instance, in Dave's instance, you know, when he does it, it's more emotional for him. And so when people see him doing it, you know, they know that he's distracted and he's not focusing on the game.
Short.
If he would just focus on the game and forget about, you know, complaining to the ref, I think he'd do much better.
Three serving 2.
See, the comment I made the other day, Alan Garner's got a very good power serve when he focuses. Be very tough.
Hold it. Four serving 2 again.
The thing is, he doesn't always focus. When he bends his knees and goes for the power serve, he's deadly, but he's got about 3 different ways of doing that power serve, and usually he's standing upright. And it's not as potent as Sean Lenning or Luis Moreno. Dave Fink has told the crowd that it's going to get worse. I'm just telling you, it's going to get loud and it's going to get worse. And that's what I'm telling you about Alan Garner. See the smile on his face. He actually finds this amusing, which then he says.
Well, yeah, because, you know, he knows he's got David distracted.
Those claps from the crowd, that usually gets into Dave. What I find very interesting about players like Dave are very focused athletes, and they amazingly competitive. But I've watched him play high-level tennis in tournaments, and he doesn't have this sort of outburst on the court. It makes me always wonder what the difference is between sports and in golf. He doesn't either. He plays golf completely different than handball. But he's emotional in handball, and he's not emotional in the other sports. And I spoke to him about it earlier today at breakfast, and then after that, and he said, you know, I don't know exactly what it is. He said, but my dad doesn't play tennis, my dad doesn't play golf, and I'm
2 serving 5.
I think I'm wanting to win more for my dad than myself, and I'm just putting so much pressure.
Well, that could very well be.
But I don't think that's really the answer either. I'm not sure, but that's a flat roll right there from Alan Garner, and Dave Fink could get a technical from the referee for that, as we look at the ref to see what his thoughts are.
He's laughing.
Well, I think he can hear us.
5 serving 2.
5-2.
Short.
The referee's actually going to get a technical himself if he doesn't call that technical. Ball sounds like it broke.
What happened there?
I think the ball just jumped off that side wall.
Call a hinder?
No, the ball hit the.
Serving 2.
I think it hit the crack up high on that back left wall and then slid down the wall. There are some strange bad bounces here.
They're not bad bounces. They're erratic bounces. I thought we agreed on that terminology.
We did, but I forgot.
Okay, you're excused. But that was a good shot.
2 serving 6.
Dave Fink asking for a towel here. This is the 5th place final. 1 game to 25, win by 2.
See, this is the angle. I like this angle right here.
This is the Circle K security cam. You can see somebody trying to take off with a whatchamacallit bar from up here. We actually had a camera operator there yesterday, and I think
6.
maybe they're still there. Maybe not. Alan Garner just takes that ball and just shoves it up there.
Oh, bad serve right out in the middle of the court.
6, serving 2.
Got to run the ball down the walls, folks.
Short.
Well, Dave
Second
Fink is
serve.
so good at those 2-wall serves, but Alan Garner just doesn't put up with it.
See, all Dave had to do
7,
was hit the
serving
front
2.
wall. He would have had a point there. Try to make it too tight.
That ball really takes off around that revolving door.
8, serving 2.
Whoops.
9, serving 2.
Great high definition capturing from the WPH film crew there. Now Alan Garner starting to run up here.
Allen's left-hand back wall is lights out.
10, serving 2.
You'd have to put it top 10 all time, wouldn't you, Fred?
Oh, yeah,
Mark.
absolutely.
Second serve.
He's so comfortable with it.
I'm just wondering why Alan doesn't serve left-handed. I mean, I know what he feels comfortable with, but he just has such a good left hand. See how he's able to just take a little off that ball but keep it flat in the process? It's unbelievable that left, it's
11,
flat.
serving
It's the way
2.
he sets up beautifully.
Alan Garner gets the side out here. Dave Fink now serving at 2-10. Dave is historic at making major
2, serving
comebacks.
11.
2-11, excuse me.
Short.
Sound like the ball broke.
Second serve.
But this court is so mic'd up that every ball's kind of making that splat sound.
I don't know why Dave doesn't try passing him more.
11, serving 2.
You make a mistake with Allen up front, either left or right, it's over.
Twelve, serving 2. Two, serving 12. Twelve, serving 2.
This is the 5th place final between Alan Garner and Dave Fink. We have fans flying in as far away as New Orleans and then Anchorage, Alaska. Even though we're up here in Seattle, Anchorage is still pretty far away.
Two, serving 12.
Of course, Tucson, Arizona has some that have flown, and we appreciate those that have purchased tickets to watch this Players
12,
Championship.
serving 2.
I know the crowds look really small right now, but a lot of these fans are doing the right thing. They look at the scorecard and see who's playing. I mean, it's a sold-out gallery, Fred, but they're checking out who they want to go see, and during the middle of the day, they're heading out to the wharf or Pike's Place or staying here to have dinner and then watching it on
13, serving 2.
their iPhones.
I think the final tonight is going to be overflowing crowd,
No, it will
especially with Sean in the finals, local favorite. Can't wait.
be. Well, that's going to be interesting. Also, the race comes down for the team standings,
13-2.
and regardless of what happens here, Sean Linning and Luis Moreno will be fighting for the pro stop victory, but also the
3,
team
serving
victory as
13.
Luis Moreno represents the Idaho Spuds
Short.
and Sean Linning representing the Seattle WAC team. If Sean takes
Second.
down Luis tonight, he will win the WAC team standing for his team. Statistically, entering today, entering today, the Tucson Gunslingers could have actually won the team standing if Charlie
13,
Shanks and Nadia
serving
Alvarado
3.
would have made it to the finals.
Short.
All these captains did a great job
Second serve.
of drafting for it to come down so close, right down to the end, the final match.
Well, the Salt Lake City Aces on paper have a great team. Luis Cordova, who's been representing pretty well all year. Armando Ortiz and Alan Garner. You think with those names out there, you're going to get a lot of points. Dan Armijo also on
14,
that
serving
team.
3.
But they have not received a lot of points this year in the team standings, and
3
as
minutes.
John Bike said, very well could be the best team in the Chicago Metro League next year, as they're going to be delegated out of this team standings and actually sent out to Chicago. I told them Chicago would probably beat those guys in their team standings. It's halftime right now with Alan Garner scoring that 15th point, now making it 15-3. That's why there's that 3-minute break. That's why you hear the music. You're watching the WPH Simple Green Race for 8 as we are live at racefor8.com. My name is Dave Vincent alongside President of the WPH, Fred Lewis, for this match. Dave Fink finds himself in a huge deficit here up against Alan Garner. Match coming up after this one, 6:45 p.m. in the Great Pacific Northwest, as there will be a nice little break for dinner. Before we get to that one, it'll be Charlie Shanks and Nate Alvarado. Nate earlier today broke his nose. He was playing really tight with Sean Lenning, what was then called an avoidable hinder, to put more salt onto the wound. Nate Alvarado swept in front of Sean, who was going to take an inside-out swing, and he popped Nate straight in the face, broke his nose. Here's the replay. Here's Sean smashing Nate right in the face, which broke Nate's nose, and now he's recovering back at the hotel room with an ice pack, and that was a terrible collision that took place earlier today. Fred, you saw that courtside, and so did everybody else. That resulted in about 17-minute delay. The injury timeout plus timeouts, plus Sean took some of his timeouts. Everybody did not want to forfeit Nate Alvarado out of this. In fact, Sean Lenning agreed not to allow Nate to be forfeited. He said, I'll take all of my timeouts and I'll forfeit the match myself if we don't let him come back in. And
Well, because he knew that the sportsmanship award was $10,000, so, right?
yeah, well, I mean, that's one of the reasons. But ultimately, the crowd was really in on that. Nate won the first game 15-5, and then Sean Lenning comes back and takes game number 2 15-1. The injury took place at about 12-1 with Sean Lenning up, and it wasn't the injury that caused Nate to lose that second game. Nate tanked the last 3 points or so he can go into the timeout before the tiebreaker, and then put on a pretty good show in the tiebreaker, but didn't capitalize on some.
Well, he certainly had his
points.
chances. I thought he got a little tentative there at the end, where he could have hit the ball down either wall, and instead hit it back in the center of the court, and Sean
Score
ended
is
up winning
3,
the rally.
serving 15.
But if he could have scored on a couple of those, it would have been interesting, because there would have been a lot more pressure on Sean to close
4,
things
serving
out.
15.
There's another point for Dave. Now 2 quick points after halftime. Dave Fink comes in more fresh. Alan Garner changes his shirt.
5, serving 15.
He's trying to get the last 10 points to win 5th place. And 3
Well,
straight
that time
points.
the ball hung up in the front court. I think he was trying to go straight down the wall.
6, serving 15.
He's getting a little adrenaline here. He looks pumped. He's gotten some easy setups.
7, serving 15. Short. Second serve. Towel.
The towel timeout here.
'15, serving 7.
Nice straight pass.
16, serving 7. Short. Second serve.
Big setup for Alan Garner, who's deadly back there, and he dips that ball into the front wall. Sometimes you get too much time to think about it.
7, serving 16.
I don't think Alan had to be that perfect.
I agree.
I mean, he had Dave way back and off to the side. He could have just passed it or played a little bit more safe and not go for the straight kill. And then he dips another one in.
8, serving 16. Nine, serving 16.
Boy, Dave rushed that shot. He had more time to set up and hit it good.
16, serving 9.
Nice reverse. Good pass.
17, serving 9. '18, serving 9.
Fink tops that ball. I was talking to Fink about this a couple pro stops
9,
back.
serving 18.
9-18 is the score, about how the top players are able to go over the top of the ball and what would be a reverse for most of us are really naturals for these guys in the sense that Nadia Alvarado breaks over the top of the ball, Luis Moreno breaks over the top of the ball. To them, that is their natural, even though it's technically a reverse. And Dave said all of us do it. We all go over the top of the ball.
18, serving 9.
Do you think that a youngster, that if you're teaching them how to play, I mean, Alan Garner's great at going over the top. Sean Linning does it on every single shot. Luis Moreno is the master at it, so is Nadia Alvarado.
Second serve.
But even Dave with his offhand breaks over the top of the ball to keep it down. Fred, how do you teach somebody to do that? I mean, all the elite players in the 8 are toppers.
Well,
9,
you know, I
serving
have
18.
my own ideas about that. And I think a lot of them would like what I have to say about it, but I think it's a lazy way to keep the ball down. They do it because they don't want to take the time to get into position and hit the ball correctly. In other words, going
10,
over the
serving
top of
18.
the ball, you know, has its time and place. And I like to see it when guys hit pass shots down the opposite wall. In other words, when a left-hander hits a pass shot down the right, or when right-handers hit down the left, I think it's very valuable to be able to come over the top of the ball and make the ball straighten out so that it runs down the wall. What I don't like is when, you know, a player has time to
11,
get in
serving
position
18.
and hit the ball correctly, and instead they go for what I call the lazy way out, which is to go over the top of the ball. And to me, it's very, very inconsistent, especially when a guy is trying to shoot.
12, serving 18. 18 serving 12. Hold it. 18 serving 12.
Dave Fink hits that ball into the ground. That was an
Well,
easy serve right there,
Why is
too.
he trying to
19
shoot that
serving
ball?
12.
Should try hitting a 2-wall pass and getting Allen out of the front court.
Now Alan Garner has the dips. Dave 6 points back. He's still within striking distance of Alan Garner.
12 serving 19.
Make that 7 points back. That was a screen ball, no call from the ref. No argument from Allen. This is where Allen's dangerous. These players keep feeding balls to his left hand. And that's what it sets up.
See, what I like what Allen did there, you know, the ball was close to the wall. Instead of trying to shoot it, you know, he
19
drove the ball.
serving
He had a
12.
nice 2-wall pass, and then he got an easy setup, and he was able to end the volley. That's how handball's supposed
First
to be played.
timeout, 1 minute.
And a 1 minute timeout being called from Dave Fink here at 20-12. This is for fifth place, the fifth place final. Earlier today, we saw Alan Garner defeat Andy Nett. Dave Fink went over Luis Cordova, and that's what created this fifth place playoff. And it was Andy Nett versus Luis Cordova, and Cordova won that. So Cordova takes 7th place, Andy Nett takes 8th. Fifth place looks like it's going to be Alan Garner, but we've seen Dave Fink come back from this deficit previously. And then at 6:45, third place will be Charlie Shanks versus Nate Alvarado. I believe Nate Alvarado may be pulling out of that third place. Not sure. He's kind of up in the air. He said that he's feeling a lot of pain and it's hard for him to breathe.
Oh,
And
I'm sure now that the adrenaline is worn off.
Here's the WAC Handball president, Brian Henson.
Good guy, Brian. Really does a great job here getting this whole thing organized. He's got a lot of energy. Really appreciate what he's done here.
Now we're back into play.
Allen tried to sneak one in there.
12 serving 20. Point.
Good serve. Dave needs a few more of these, and he'll be right
13
back
serving
in it.
20.
Well, it's very difficult to serve against Alan Garner. He just has no weakness unless you
That's
ace
what he
him.
can't do. He's got to keep it off the back. Left
20
hand is
serving
deadly.
13.
And if you do this serve to Alan Garner, he's so deadly up on the ceiling, you almost don't want him to go up there because he's one of the best in the game up top. I just think he's hard to serve against because he's got every tool in the business to get that ball back. You can't do that underhand serve to him because he has a better ceiling game than you. Watch what he does here. Steady dose of 2-wall passes and
Oh
front
yeah,
wall kill
because
shots.
he missed that other
Hold it.
left-handed shot. So he went to the conservative mode, which is okay because he's not going to get hurt with it. And all he's doing is working David, you know, making him circle.
20 serving 13.
Eventually he'll get a setup like he had there, but missed the shot and became a hinder. It's a good shot. See what he does with this. Too straight.
That's so frustrating when a guy hits the ball right at you and you miss-hit it.
You know, Dave will rally. He'll do very good. He'll hit a lot of good shots, one right after the other. And then the next thing you know, on an easy shot, he hits it straight off the back wall, which I don't understand.
Okay, scores 21, serving 13.
What age was it, Fred, for you when you realized that you were getting old in this professional game? 34, 35?
Yeah, 36, 7.
Some players feel
13,
like they're in their
serving
prime at about
21.
33, even though it seems to be a little late. Paul Brady, obviously, playing really good between 26 and 33. He's not 33 yet, but
Well, I think, you know, the big thing, what you find, you know, when you start feeling like you're going downhill is that your body begins to stiffen up, and, you know, you don't have that flexibility that you once had where you could, you know, really uncoil on shots. In other words, your shots aren't as dangerous as they were before, and so as a result, you're not, you know, putting the same type of pressure on players that you were doing a few years earlier. That's what I found.
but you also seem to get a
Okay,
little bit smarter as you
21,
get older
serving
too, so it makes
13.
up for some of the body issues.
Serving 21.
Leaned into that one very nicely. Allen gave him a big
14,
setup.
serving 21.
Good serve. Very nice.
Now Dave Fink gets that 15th point. This is where he becomes deadly because he gets really focused in on that serve and first strike game.
Well, as long as he serves and he keeps the ball off the back wall, he's going to be in the volley.
Wiping the floor down here. I'm kind of surprised Dave Fink taking this towel wipe because he has the momentum. Chip Morales asking for the towel. We're going to 25. Winner. Don't know whose head is in the camera angle
Okay,
there.
resume play. 15, serving 21.
Let's see what kind of serve he hits here. He hit a good serve, but then he hits, you know, a very dumb second shot.
21, serving 15.
Right back in the center of the court.
If you're going to go for that shot, you have to be right on and close it out. Oh, and Fink gets the rollout there in the left corner. He just flipped that ball to the front wall and got it.
15, serving 21.
There you go.
Serving 21.
Nice jackhammer overhand kill.
17, serving 21.
Getting interesting.
Short.
Okay, we need a good second
Second
serve.
serve.
Not good.
Nice get right there from Fink. He gets up really quick. Still into this play. Good return. Alan Garner resets the action. Dave Fink just made a mistake right there. Allen steps in, kills that ball right in front of him, and you have to be upset with yourself after seeing that. Here's the replay brought to you by Tucson Rolling Shutters. Dave Fink flips that ball up there.
Okay. 21, serving 17. Short.
Dave Fink now within just 4 points.
Second serve.
You have to remember that at the half, Dave Fink was trailing 15-3. So to be back within 4 points is pretty darn good.
Set up.
Fink's on a 14-6 run right now. Wow, nice shot right there from Fink. And the crowd puts their hands together here.
17, serving 21.
I don't know why Dave feels he's got to rush
Change them.
that shot.
2 minutes.
Let's look at a replay of that last shot, and we'll see what you're talking about regarding this instant replay, Fred.
I think he just tried to do too much with it.
That's the kill shot that ended the rally, but if we
Got to
go
back further.
I believe that, you know, he could have, you talk about that first shot, he paddles that ball right back to where Allen's standing.
Oh, he hit it front side instead of hitting it straight down the wall.
Could have hit it right down the right wall. There's a little paddle in front of himself, and if it was a
Worst
hinder,
thing that would have happened was he would have gotten a hinder.
We're in the middle of a 2-minute glove change. We're going to take a quick time out here in the booth. We'll be back in just a bit. Stick with us at racefor8.com.
Hello, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. Our non-toxic, biodegradable, all-purpose cleaner works great for cleaning. Thank you. Non-toxic, biodegradable, Simple Green. It's great for cleaning.
So, same time next week?
Well, of course.
Put away a few bucks, feel like $1 million. For free tips to help you save, go to Feed the Pig.
For 20 years, the Inner City Handball Association has educated, mentored, and served young people through handball. Young people that participate in the Inner City Handball Association programs have a high graduation rate from high school and continue on to college. Inner City Handball teams are good athletes, good students, and good ambassadors for the sport of handball. We need your help to continue our work. Inner City Handball Association is a registered 501c3 tax-exempt charity. Please donate today. Thank you.
Okay, Allen serving. Okay, score is 21, serving 17.
And we are back in for the conclusion of this 5th place match. Dave Fink on a slight comeback here, but a 2-minute glove change might have broke some momentum. Let's see. Oh, nice shot right there from Fink. Dug out, though, from Alan Garner. Fink went for it with his right hand.
Set up.
Oh, and Alan Garner rolls it out with a dive re-kill. Unbelievable shot. Gallery likes it. Now Alan's calling for the towel. Let's look at the replay here. Dave Fink made an incredible shot leading up to this, Fred. This is our replay cam. Alan dug that out. Fink thought he was going to get a free point. This one, Alan's going to have to jump for this ball, and he does. He gets it back to the front wall, and Dave is sizing this one up.
Hit the sidewall first instead of going straight.
Fink hit that kill
22,
shot a little
serving
too high,
17.
22-17. Alan Garner up by 5.
Second serve.
Error.
23, serving 17.
Smart shot from Fink. Nice play from Allen. And Fink then dumps that ball right in the front. Yep.
See, I like what he did that because he set that point up by hitting 3 good shots
17,
in a row.
serving 23.
I think Allen thought that ball was short. His body language looks different
That's a
after
good
that.
shot.
Nice little slider.
Down the wall. Money shot.
18, serving 23.
Good serve.
Another great serve right there from Dave Fink. That ball almost popped up after hitting the
Yeah,
back
he went
wall.
over the top of that one.
19, serving 23.
Oh, too bad.
Alan Garner 2 points away from taking 5th place.
23, serving 19. Short. Sorry.
Referee late making the call. Sometimes everyone in the building knows it's short,
Second
so the
serve.
referee doesn't say anything, but that results sometimes in a late call. I think it's so dangerous to hit ceiling balls to Allen's left.
Right.
It just
Down.
sets that sort of shot up
He's
there.
down.
Alan Garner serving to win this match.
24, serving 19. Short. Second serve.
That's it.
There it is. Alan Garner takes
Playing,
down
guys.
David Fink,
Congratulations
25 to
on your
19.
finish in the race for 8. Let's give these two wonderful players a round of applause. Thank you.
Alan Garner wins 5th place here in Seattle for the Players' Championship. We'll have 3rd place at 6:45 p.m. tonight, pending Nadia Alvarado's approval after getting hit in the nose. He has a broken nose. He would be facing Charlie Shanks, and we're not quite certain exactly what Nadia Alvarado is going to do after he has a doctor's visit here this afternoon. He's not quite sure what his health is going to be like. It's hard for him to breathe out of that nose, but tentatively that'll be a 6:45 match. That'll be 3rd place, and then the finals tonight, the big show, Saturday Night Live at 8 o'clock. For Fred Lewis and the rest of the crew, my name is Dave Vincent. We'll be back in just a bit, in about 1 hour from now. Stick around here at racefor8.com.
Working and working out takes a lot of energy. That's why I drink Zenergy. Feeling fantastic and looking good has never been easier. Science, extreme science for your active lifestyle.
We are different. Society should aspire to be more like us.
Be part of the first class. Get energized. Get outside.
Hold on, guys. It's gonna get bumpy.
And get moving. Experience the power of physical activity. Join the movement at ActionHeroAlliance.com.
So, what's it gonna be? We could ride bikes, skating, movies, zoo, whatever you guys want to do.
Can we just do this?
Yeah. We could just do this.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life. Take time to be a dad today.